What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike. Today I'm finally back. Well, not finally. Today I'm finally shooting a video that I've been putting off for a few days now. Primarily because I think everything that I'm getting ready to tell you borders on insanity. I can't imagine any good reason for what I've been experiencing over the last few days. But since the whole point of making these videos is being transparent as possible and sharing everything that I'm experiencing, the good, bad, and the ugly, I'm going to take you through what has occurred in my lifetime for the past few days. And like I said, I feel that it's nuts. I don't know what could possibly have been causing these symptoms that I'm experiencing, but here we go. So you'll know that I have been running MK677, which, by the way, if the comments on this video get fucking turned off, then I will move this video to OnlyFans. My wife's free OnlyFans account, I've actually been posting content to every day. It's just, you know, like little sexy dresses and non-nude stuff. So if you like that kind of content, you can see that there. I'm updating it every day, and I'm about to start shooting some video content there if YouTube continues to play with my comments. I think I got the comments fixed on all my videos, but so I don't know if that was a fluke or if they're really just not gonna let me talk about MK, which is fucking retarded. I could talk about trend all day long. For those of you who've been following along, you know that I was taking 300 milligrams of Trenbolone E, 300 milligrams of Masteron E, 200 milligrams of testosterone E, and that I had run an MK677 for a while. My MK677 cycle was going phenomenally. I gained 13. I went from 190 all the way up to 213.2 pounds like a few days ago before everything fell apart. That was where I hit 213.2 pounds high, the biggest I've ever been in life. I was actually starting to feel pretty good about the weight that I was gaining because it looked like there was actually some recomp going on. In the beginning, when I was putting on all that weight, it was very clearly a lot of water. And then by the time I got up to 213, my abs were starting to come back and become a little bit more visible. And so I was beginning to believe that maybe some of the weight that I was putting in my gut was finally translating into my actual muscle tissue, and that was causing the difference in aesthetic. And so everything was going great with the MK, with the exception of the fact that I had been having the most insane lethargy. I thought the lethargy was due to the COVID lingering around, but when my wife my wife got COVID with me, she kicked it and went back to normal. And guys, like I was taking 10 milligrams of MK in the morning, 10 milligrams in the evening, along with 2 IUs of GH. Now, when I run GH, the first few weeks is always pretty miserable. It causes a lot of lethargy and a lot of misery. And so it wasn't, but I guess I hadn't studied the MK enough. I hadn't really read a lot about people experiencing lethargy on MK. I don't know why you wouldn't, being that it's a growth hormone secretagogue, just like, so you would expect some lethargy to be a part of the mix. By the coming on 3-week mark of the MK, I was useless, man. Like I would wake up in the morning, and I would eat a meal, and I might come in here and make a video. Usually it's what I would do. I'd come in here and make a video. By the time I was done shooting a video, I would just be like falling over. I just could not sit up in my chair. Go back to the bedroom, sleep for a couple hours, maybe 3 hours, get up, eat dinner, and sometimes I'd go back to bed. That was what was going on with COVID. It got a little bit better after COVID, but I was never able to get through an entire day without like a 4 fucking hour nap mixed in there somewhere. It would either be in the middle of the day I'd go get a nap, or sometimes it was happening like I'd take my second MK dose, eat a big meal, I'd be playing a game with the family, like my daughter and I were playing Life and Go Fish and just various different board games and shit. And I would just be sitting there playing the game and just like the most insane lethargy. Not like lethargy you get like when you wake up in the morning and you're still kind of tired and maybe you hit your alarm and you kind of drift back off. Now, this is like can't stand up, can't sit up. It just feels like there's just a weight just crumbling you over, and you just want to lay down. And so, usually I would just get up, go in the bedroom, lay down, And my wife would just leave me alone, and sometimes I'd sleep 2, maybe 3 hours, just depending on when I went in there. Usually I feel like I'd be going in there around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. You know, my daughter would come in around 9:30 or 10 to tell me good night, wake me up. So usually like these 2-hour naps in the evening, just tremendous amounts of lethargy. The lethargy was so bad, it was like I wasn't even feeling the trend anymore. Like I had none, like I was having no problem going to sleep at night. I was having none of the usual trend aggression. Like I just felt fucking tired all day long. So I decided to try to find out whether the cause of the tiredness was some kind of lingering COVID issue, or if it was possible that it was related to the MK. So I just dropped the MK. So normally I take 2 doses a day. So I took 10 milligrams in the morning, and I was frustrated because I was, you know, in bed again at like 7:30 taking a nap, and I told my wife, I was like, man, I can't take this lethargy anymore. It's kicking my ass. I'm not going to the gym. I'm gaining all this weight. I'm eating all these calories, but I'm not getting to the gym. It's fucking pointless. And I told her, I was like, you know, the MK is short acting, so I'll miss a dose, and I'll see, you know, I'll skip my dose tonight, and then I won't take one in the morning, and we'll see what tomorrow looks like. As fucking, you know, fate would have it, I skip my MK dose, and I wake up the next morning, and I am sick as a dog to my stomach with all the familiar high estrogen symptoms. I had known before I stopped the MK that my estrogen was getting high. I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I was starting to have the decadic type of symptoms, which is also very common when your estrogen gets high. Usually when my estrogen is high, I have raging, out of control libido, which I had. And, you know, I could function in the sex act for a while, but if we were like really, you know, if we were having like 30 minutes of foreplay, 20 minutes of sex, by the end of sex, I was just flagging, you know, I'm just fucking losing it. And so I don't like that. That's one of the reasons I take all of the shit that I take, is to prevent that from happening. And that's very common when I have high estrogen. Very emotional, lots of signs and symptoms. So the day before I dropped the MK, I added 0.5 milligram of Arimidex. And, you know, I know what people are going to say, like I'm so prone to placebo effect. I felt like I started feeling better within 6 hours of taking that Arimidex. And so I'm thinking, okay, cool, we're going to knock this E2 down. Everything's going to be good. Well, I didn't do it fast enough, so I skipped the MK dose. I wake up the next morning. I'm trying so hard not to vomit. So as I said in my previous video, I took 1 dose of ondansetron, which seemed to help. But the vomiting was still like knocking at the door, so I took a 2nd dose of ondansetron, and that over the period of the next 30 to 45 minutes finally stopped the vomiting sensations and the burning stomach, and I was feeling relatively good as far as what I call morning sickness from high estrogen. I drank, that was the first day that this occurred, which was like 3 days ago now, and I had maybe 600 calories that day. I drank half of a mini Monster. I ate like a piece of pound cake about this big. I'm trying to get this down now. This is what my wife cut me like 2 hours ago. I can't eat it. The pound cake, the reason I'm eating that is it's like the closest thing to bread, and it seems to do a good job of soaking up all the stomach acid that I have going on. And so, so I felt like shit. And so once I got the vomiting stopped, once I got the desire to vomiting stopped, I started trying to get up and move around the house to try to go on with some semblance of my day. I have had a bass boat for a very long time, and I've been in the process of selling it. I just sold it yesterday, finally. Made a pretty good amount of money on it, actually. And so I've been excited to get that done, and there was a lot of things that I needed to get done. So I got up out of bed, and all over my body. I have never experienced anything like this in my entire fucking life, which is why I'm making this video. Surely I'm not the only freak out there. All over my body. I mean literally from my neck muscles to my traps, my shoulders, my pecs, my abs, my quads, my calves, all the way down. leaning up in the bed, using my muscles to sit up in the bed, they would just like mini cramp all over. It would just be like cramp, 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 cramp. Just like these, like, it was almost like a seizure was trying to start. Like I would just have, they wouldn't like not completely up. It would just be like the start of a cramp and it would go away. And it would happen in my traps, my shoulders, my pecs, my abs. And then when I physically went to stand up out of the bed, both of my quads cramped. And then with every step I took into the bathroom, my quads would just cramp, 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 cramp. Again, not like a full-blown knotted up, you're laying in the floor waiting for it to go away. It was like literally every time the muscle fiber, like it was like every time the nerve fired the muscle and told it to squeeze, to contract, it would just cramp, cramp, cramp with the contraction. So every step that I'm taking is just like little tiny fucking calf cramps. What the fuck? I'm having weird hot flashes. My body temperature seems to be all over the place. Cold sweats. I just feel fucking miserable all over. I can't eat. My body is aching. And on top of this, I don't know where my family is. On top of this, I'm telling my wife we're about to have to go to the hospital. Not because of all of these other things going on, but in the midst of vomiting or trying not to vomit, cramps all over my body, cold sweats, hot flashes, racing thoughts. I have a fucking full-blown priapism. I'm talking for hours and hours. My dick was like half to full hard the whole time. Like it would just go from full to half to full, rolling over. I mean, I was just constant, could not make it stop. So finally, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I start researching to see if it's possible that I'm having withdrawal from the MK677, which I know, like, impossible, right? I was on it for maybe 3 weeks at a maximum. 20 milligrams a day, 3 weeks at a maximum. There's no fucking way this could possibly humanly be withdrawal from a growth hormone secretagogue. So I get on Reddit and I find some posts where people are asking this question. Do you withdraw off MK677? I stopped taking it. I've been having lots of anxiety and palpitations and hot sweats and nobody was describing, like I never found a single person saying anything about the strange muscle twitches and cramps and everything that was going on. So I told her, I was like, maybe I should just take like 5 milligrams of MK and see if this goes away. And she's like, I don't know, do whatever you want to do. So instead of doing that, because at this point I'm over 24 hours into having no dose and I'm trying to get this shit out of my system because I'm trying to verify whether or not it's causing the lethargy, I decided instead to take half of a milligram of Xanax to see if that would calm whatever was going on all over my body. So I take half a milligram of Xanax somewhere in the middle afternoon. And within like 30 minutes, god damn the fucking battery in this camera. I hate this R6 battery is completely useless. It'll tell you the battery is half full when you start a video, and in 10 minutes in, it's fucking dying. So I'll be right back. So as I was saying before my camera debacle, I took the Xanax, and within 30 minutes, a lot of the psychological effects had gone away. Basically, the anxiety and the kind of panicky feeling that was coming along with all these other sides started subsiding. And I actually told my wife, I was like, I think I could actually get a little sleep and kind of maybe hope to sleep this off. So I did. I nodded out. I don't recall what time it was. I nodded out, and when I woke back up, I was feeling better in general. Like psychologically, I was feeling better. But the cramping all over my body did not subside, and the priapism was certainly not gone. So she was in the middle of homeschooling my daughter, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it till tonight. Okay, like I'm about to break this thing off. So like I gotta either handle this myself or you gotta come do something for me, because Like, it was just like, it was like insane, dude. It was just like, imagine having this massive erection and all you can think about is getting rid of it. And it's just dominating every thought process, and it's just constant. It just will not go away. So she comes, she's like, all right, I got you. So she comes in bed, we do our little thing, get this thing to go away. Even after sex, it took like it didn't immediately go away. Even after sex, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to the hospital. Like, usually it's like sex and then gone. And it was more like sex and went to like here. So from like all the way to like here. And it stayed that way for like 30 fucking minutes. I was borderline panicking, thinking I was gonna have to go to the hospital. And finally it went away. So it's like, okay, cool, got that taken care of. Psychologically, I'm feeling a lot better, but I don't know what to do about all of these strange muscle twitches, spasms, cramps, whatever the fuck is going on. So this has now gotten later into the day, into the evening of the first day of being without the MK677. So I had taken 2 doses of ondansetron, also known as Zofran, early that morning to stop the vomiting that was coming from what I suspect is very, very high estrogen. And sure enough, later in the evening, once the ondansetron started wearing off, I started getting sick to my stomach again. So I took another dose of ondansetron that minorly helped. I waited like 30 minutes and then I took a second dose. So I had a total of 16 milligrams of ondansetron to control the nausea. I keep saying vomiting because there's a 100% chance that I would have been vomiting in the absence of the ondansetron. So while I didn't actually vomit, I would have vomited a lot if not for the antiemetic. So 16 milligrams of ondansetron, and I felt basically like dog shit before bed. And so I took my sleeping pills and everything, and we actually got to bed relatively early that night. So I woke up yesterday, and I woke up early in the morning, and when I woke up, I had burning stomach again. So I immediately took a dose of ondansetron, started trying to drink like some electrolyte mix, Vitalite, and it was like the first dose of ondansetron helped, but the intense need to vomit would not go away. And you can always tell when you're about to vomit. Like, you have the massive nausea, and then you can usually tell right before it's about to come because you'll spike a hot flash. You'll get that super bad hot flash, and then within like 30 seconds to a couple of minutes, you're in the toilet. And so like I got to that hot flash part and I was like, oh shit. And I popped the ondansetron and started trying to cool my body down to stop the vomiting reaction long enough for the ondansetron to get in. And so the second dose of ondansetron gets into my system, and over the course of the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes, the need to vomit and the burning stomach subsided again. So yesterday I had to be functional because I had to go sell my boat. So I laid in bed. We got up at, I don't know, around noon. I started around noon, maybe a little bit earlier with all the ondansetron doses, and I was able to try to get down a piece of pound cake, and then I had maybe half of my Monster, and then I had to go pull the boat out of the driveway and clean up a bunch of shit and do a bunch of shit. So I'm basically running around on completely 0 calories for now, going on 48 hours, and I felt like dog shit. But at least the vomiting had stopped from all the ondansetron. But as far as like the muscle cramps, the spasms, all that shit is just constant. So like every time I climb up on the boat, move around on the boat, every movement is just, there's just these little pains all over my body. Weirdest fucking thing I have ever experienced. I did not take any more Xanax. I just decided that maybe it really is withdrawals. This is day 2. Hopefully it's going to be getting better. Once I kind of got up and started moving around, taking care of the boat, it was like a little bit less in my head, but I still could not get any calories in. So I had my wife bring me a Dr. Pepper. We met the guy out at Bass Pro Shop, took the boat out. I drank maybe half that can of Dr. Pepper, and then came home after we completed the transaction, came home and I basically got back in bed. I guess I made that video, and then we had dinner. So for dinner, I had some steak and baked potato. I was able to get down just a pathetically small portion of steak and baked potato, and then we sat around and watched some TV. I came in here and sat on the computer for a little while, started just running out of energy, went back to bed, and last night I was able to go throughout my night, if I remember correctly, and I don't think I ended up having to take any ondansetron. Last night, however, I decided to, this video is all over the fucking place, but it's just a history of what's been going on. So last night, I decided to change up my dosing protocol to try to conquer this, high blood, high estrogen, get everything dialed in. I think I'll make a separate video today about my attitude toward dialing in my estrogen. So last night I did some shots, and I woke up this morning, and immediately upon waking up, here comes the nausea again. So I took one ondansetron, and then another ondansetron, and again, my wife cut me this piece of pound cake, and I've had that bite off the entire thing. Is all that I've had to eat besides a little bit of Vitalite and a little bit of Monster. So laying in bed again, extremely horny again this morning. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So on the one hand, I've got a burning stomach and I'm fucking absolutely miserable. And on the second hand, I'm cuddling my wife and spooning her and just trying to instigate sex, which she agreed to and was relatively functional. And once I finished from that, then obviously that need was met, and I'm laying in bed and I'm just feeling like fucking death. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to take another Xanax to try to overcome whatever the fuck is going on with me, and then I decided this is fucking bullshit. Xanax is just masking the problem. Everything, none of the things that I'm experiencing I've had high estrogen more than once. I've had low estrogen, I've had high estrogen. The cramps, all the other bullshit that was going on with my body has never been anything even remotely similar to anything I've experienced from estrogen. I have never in life experienced what feels like mini fucking seizures all over my body, ever, from anything. So I told my wife, the only thing I know at this point is that whether I'm a unique freak of nature or this is just a very unstudied chemical and no one's talking about this, maybe you just cannot stop taking this shit cold turkey. And so I told her, look, I'm just going to take 5 milligrams. Usually I take 10 milligrams of ondansetron MK677 twice a day. Today I decided I was going to take 5 milligrams and see, just to see. You know, we'll take 5 milligrams, we'll see if some of the symptoms relieve themselves. So I took that approximately 10, maybe 20 minutes max before I started shooting this video. And lo and behold, I didn't even know this was going to happen. So this is like something freakish that just occurred, and I'm about to test it again. When my battery died, I got up just now to go get another battery and walked to the bedroom for the first time in 3 days without cramping calves. So, let's see. That doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt. Okay, so my calves are a little bit achy, but my quads both feel totally fine, up and down. I think, guys, ever since I took that 5 milligrams of MK677, I have started feeling markedly better, and we're talking about a maximum of 30 minutes since I've ingested that dose. So I don't know if anyone else has experienced this. I don't know if I'm a complete lunatic. I know that my body is uber sensitive to every single thing I put into it. I have withdrawn off multiple different drugs that you're really not supposed to be able to withdraw off of. I had withdrawals off of escitalopram, off of a very small dose. Obviously, I've withdrawn off Xanax on more than one occasion. I can't stop drinking. You know, if I drink large amounts of caffeine and then skip caffeine, I have crushing headaches. My body is very sensitive to anything moving in and out of its system. But I agree, for those of you who are probably shaking your head right now, you know, maximum of 21 days of any drug. I mean, can you even get hooked on heroin in 21 days to the point that you would be having physical withdrawals? I don't know. I've never taken it. I don't think you could get, you would become dependent on even Xanax in 21 days. I don't know what the fuck this MK677 is doing in my body. I don't think anyone really knows. The insane rapid weight gain that I had over the course of using this compound, and again, I think that is, I think it's not just the MK677. The last time that I was vomiting from high estrogen, I went and got blood work done, and my estrogen, my E2 level was 179 picograms in a range of up to 42. That's how high it had gotten, and I was vomiting like a pregnant woman. I made a video, I will link it at the end of this video. I think I linked at the end of the last video actually, talking about how high estrogen gave me morning sickness for like 3 weeks. So I'm just here to report on this insane, bizarro experience. It has been 3 days of absolute fucking hell. I decided to take the MK, to put the MK back in the system to see if possibly it's causing withdrawals. Now that I am feeling somewhat better, I'm probably going to try to taper off of it, or I will either elect to use a very small dose just at night so that it doesn't cause lethargy during the day. I have not completely decided on that, but I'm making this video to just let those of you in the audience know. It's funny, sometimes I'll make a video explaining that I've had some experience, and then I'll get, you know, after doing research to find if anybody else has had the same experience, and I'll research and basically I won't be able to find anything. And then I'll make a video saying, hey, I had this weird experience from this drug, and then there'll be like 50 people in the comment section go, hey, that happened to me too. So that's always been a part, kind of the point of this channel, is to just share my experiences to find out, like, you know, maybe I'm not the only one, or maybe I'm a fruitcake. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. All I can tell you is that aside from having high estrogen and all the fucking nightmares that come along with that, I think I'm experiencing, or have been experiencing, fucking withdrawal symptoms from MK677. If that is in fact what I'm experiencing, I would really like to find some data and some research on what the hell this drug is doing that would be, that in its absence would cause cramping muscles all over the body. And before anybody even suggests it, let me make something very clear. The night before all this started, the night that I stopped taking the MK677, I had been drinking tons of vitamin water, or Vitalite. So I was very hydrated. My electrolytes were definitely, I was definitely not, you know, I was definitely not in a, I definitely did not have an electrolyte deficiency. I definitely was not dehydrated. You know, so those would be the most likely causes of some kind of strange muscle cramping. So no dehydration, no electrolyte problems. I had been eating thousands of calories a day, so there was really no room for micronutrient deficiencies. There's just absolutely nothing going on in my physiology that would explain these bizarre muscle cramps and fucking body temperature fluctuations and all this shit that I experienced within 24 hours of stopping the MK677. And it appears anecdotally so far that putting the MK677 back into the mix caused the cramping to stop. And if that does in fact win out over the day, then I think we will have definitively shown that at least in some people, there can be some type of bizarre effect when you stop the drug. The only thing that I have even, like, I've been racking my brain for a reason, like what could possibly be happening, right? So we know that the MK677 causes water retention. I've experienced it quite a bit. Is it possible that if you get all of this intra and extracellular water wrapped around your muscles and your nerve ending, your nervous system, and then you stop taking the drug? I lost, over the 2 days that I wasn't taking the MK677 and wasn't eating, I dropped from 213.2 pounds in the evening all the way down to 204.4 pounds in the evening. So I dropped almost 10 pounds in 2 fucking days. And again, admittedly, I had no food in my colon. So like usually there's about 4 pounds somewhere inside, you know, from top to bottom. My digestive system seems to hold about 4 pounds of food and whatever else is in there. And I was massively dehydrated from not drinking. So like really dark colored urine. So between having no food in my digestive tract and being massively dehydrated, I would guess that that's accounting for 6 to 8 pounds of the 10 pounds that I lost. So I don't really believe that's a real 10-pound loss, but we'll see. So is it possible that ballooning up to 213 and then having your body snap back down really quickly, could that have created like a reverse carpal tunnel syndrome where like generally guys get like carpal tunnel? God damn it, these burps. It's like, I don't even burp. It's like a combination between a hiccup and a burp. It's constant. Is it possible that I was carrying a certain volume of water all over my muscles, and then when that basically sucked down really quickly, that maybe the tissue collapsed around the nerves, and that started putting pressure on the nerves in the same way that when you build edema, when you build water up around the nerves, it puts pressure on the nerves and can cause carpal tunnel. Basically what I've been having all over my body, even when I'm not having the cramps, is just pins and needles. Just my lips, like my mouth has a metallic taste in it, pins and needles all over my tongue and my lips, the cramps all over my body, and the cold sweats, and it's just been a fucking train wreck, guys. And it seems so far, let me do some moving around here. It seems putting 5 milligrams of MK677 back into the mix is causing the problems to go away. So I don't know whether to be happy about this or fucking terrified of what I've been putting into my body. But there you have it, a very long, droning explanation of what I've been going through, just in case anyone else has these effects. Again, if this video has no comments, please go to OF. The account name is Denacalin. It's Denacalin. You can find it in my channel page, on her Twitter account or her IG account. You guys can figure it out. It's DENNAKAHLAN. I've been posting stuff there daily that you guys might enjoy. If this video doesn't get comments on it, then I'm going to move it over there, or at least put it over there as well. And then I'm going to come back here after I try to get some kind of food in my system and try to get a better mental attitude. And I'm going to tell you what I've decided to do with my cycle to get my estrogen and my hormones and everything dialed in. Rest assured, I'm not giving up the game. I have already put a plan in place that I hope will solve all of my problems, and so I'll talk about that in its own video, probably coming up next. So there you have it. 3 days of hell after deciding to cold turkey drop MK677. I highly do not recommend it. Please, in the comment section below, tell me, am I a fucking absolute freak of nature? Is this the dumbest thing you've ever heard of? Completely devoid of any kind of scientific logic or reason for these side effects? Or is it possible that you've either A, had this experience, or can tell me why I am fucking having it? I would be open to any and all input that I can get, and we'll see you on the next one.